Hey there, I'm Vanetta, and welcome back to Awaken Her Now, where we do the inner work, we heal anxious attachment, we embody feminine energy so we can awaken the best version of ourselves. And today I want to talk to you about why secure women don't chase, we attract. Listen, we stand 10 toes down in our worthiness and we allow that which is soul aligned to come to us. And today I want to share with you what that looks like. And so I just have a few things on my list. I have a little handy dandy list here to just identify a few things secure women do and some of what they don't and will never do, especially when it comes to love and relationships. And so I want you to go ahead and click the subscribe button, go ahead and hit the notification bell. And if you haven't joined or if you don't know, Awaken Her Now has a community that we are building. I would love for you to join our email list at awakenhernow.com. Every week I send out inspiration, healing tools, and everything we need to do that inner work that I was talking about, to make sure we are self-loving and standing in our worth and our truth. So if you want to be a part of this community, and I hope you do, I hope you will join us at awakenhernow.com. Get on our email list and make sure that you stay connected with a community of women who are always leveling up. But now let's get into my list of things that secure women do, things that they don't do when it comes to love. And this list that I created, and it's not an exhaustive list by any stretch of the imagination, but I created this list because I was just thinking about the things that secure women do when it comes to love. And let me just say right off the bat, I haven't always been a secure woman, and I am still walking that journey. I very much was an insecure woman when it came to relationships and love. I did all the wrong things, and I don't have a problem sharing it because I want other women to know that if you are that woman as well, if you are anxious, if you show up in relationships insecure, if you're always doing the chasing, you too can heal. You too can heal. And there's a reason why you do this. It doesn't mean you're broken. It doesn't mean something is wrong with you. What it does mean is somewhere along your journey, maybe in childhood or another relationship, taught you that you have to give more than you receive. Someone taught you that you weren't worthy. And it is possible that you learned that through this society that we live in. This is very much a patriarchal society. It is very much a misogynistic society. So it's no wonder that women show up in relationships as less than who we actually are. It's no wonder we show up in relationships thinking we have to prove our worth, thinking we have to give and chase and do all the things, overextend ourselves, but we don't. But that requires some unlearning. And so today I am sharing a few things that secure women do in relationships. Some things that we don't do in relationships to help give you a better picture, and some things that you maybe need to work on and grow towards. And so that is the point of this video. That is the point of this YouTube channel. That is the point of Awaken Her Now, to help us do better, to live the lives that we were created to live. And that begins with knowing our worth, knowing our value, and standing in that. Flat-footed, 10 toes down, standing in our worth and our value. So I'm just going to jump into number one, talking about things that secure women do, things that they will never, ever do when it comes to love and relationships. And the first thing that I have on my list is secure women, we do the choosing. And I know this may sound a little strange because a lot of us were taught that he who finds a wife and men do the pursuing. And yes, they do. So I'm not telling you to go out here and pursue men. I'm not saying choosing means you go out and ask for his phone number and ask for dates and all of that. That's not what I'm saying. I am saying when a man approaches and he's interested in you, you are vetting him to select him. He doesn't just get carte blanche to select you. No, you are looking at him as a whole man. You're looking at the effort that he puts in. You're looking at his character. You're looking at integrity. You are looking at whether he's a provider, whether he's a protector, whether you feel safe with him. You are looking at all the things, and then you're saying yes. You're just not automatically selecting men. And there are countless men who are going to want to go out with you and be in relationship with you, and they may not meet the list. They may not, check the boxes, and it's okay for you to say, no, thank you. You get to do that. You are the chooser. Secure women, we do the choosing. That is number one. Now, another thing that secure women do is we stay rooted in our worth. It's so important because sometimes you get in a relationship, you think you have a really good man and he's doing all the right things, but you attach your worth and your value to that relationship, and that begins the demise of that relationship. Sometimes we get in relationships, and if we haven't done the inner work on ourselves, we haven't cultivated self-worth in ourselves, we get into relationships looking for validation. We get into relationships looking for someone to say that we are worthy. We look for someone to validate our worth. But I'm here to tell you, secure women show up with validation. They come to the table of partnership already validated within themselves. Secure women don't look for a relationship to define who they are. And I've been there, done that. And I want you to know it wasn't a good thing. You have to cultivate self-worth, and then you have to be rooted in it, and you have to be 10 toes down knowing that you are worthy regardless whether you are in a relationship or not. Relationships don't define you. You define you, and you define your worth, and you are already created with intrinsic value, so you don't have to prove yourself to anyone. So secure women show up to the table of partnership rooted in their own self-worth. They're not looking to be validated. They're not in these relationships to be validated. And that keeps women moving if something happens. If something happens in that relationship and it is no longer the relationship that you signed up for, if you are rooted in your own self-worth, it's easier for you to depart. It's easier for you to say thank you, but no thank you, I'm out, because your worth is rooted and you are not defined by being connected to a man. So secure women, they stay rooted in their worth and in their value, regardless of a relationship, regardless of a man, regardless of the situation. We are rooted in that identity of being worthy. Now, this next one is something that secure women will never do. It's something that we don't do, and that is give ultimatums. I did that before, and it didn't work out well. So women, secure women, when they're in relationships, they don't have to give ultimatums, because at the first sign of disrespect, they shut it down. Secure women don't use threats to keep a relationship going. Secure women, they don't put blinders on. They don't have rose-colored glasses on. They're not trying to shape this man into being something that he's not. So they're not trying to hold on to him at all costs. So if something is going on in a relationship, they're not saying, well, you're going to do this or I'm going to leave. No, they're just leaving. They're not giving ultimatums. That is a threat, and men don't do well with threats anyway, so it doesn't behoove you to give ultimatums. Secure women just look at what is standing before them, the relationship, the issue, the concern, and they make a decision. Either this is working for you or it's not, period. And you have to be able to say, okay, I don't want to threaten him. If he can't show up in the fullness of what I need him to be, then this possibly is not the relationship for you. So instead of giving an ultimatum and saying, if you don't do this, no, just make the move. Just make the move. Just make the move. This is what secure women do. We don't give ultimatums. We look at what's before us and we decide what's appropriate for us. Okay? Now, another thing that secure women do, and these are all things that I had to learn to do, is I use boundaries as a protection for me, not as a punishment for him. So if something is happening in the relationship, as a secure woman, I am drawing a line in the sand, and that line is not to punish him by withdrawing my energy or withdrawing myself or cutting the relationship off or going ghost or no contact or whatever. I'm not doing that as a punishment for him, because my end game is not to manipulate his behavior, because that is what ultimatums do, or setting up punishments do. I'm not looking to punish him. I'm looking to protect me. I'm always looking out for me. Not that I don't look out for, a man in relationships that is showing up in the way that he needs to show up. But if something is harmful, if something is hurtful, if something is causing my intuition to tingle, then yeah, I'm setting a boundary. And that boundary is not to punish him. Now, he may feel some pain as a result of my boundary, but the reason I'm setting the boundary is not to punish him, but it's to protect me. It is for me to say, Vanetta, something is not right here, and this doesn't work for us, and we need to make some different choices. Period. This is what secure women do. We're not looking to raise men and you punish little boys to help them to do better. You don't do that to grown men. He needs to show up in this relationship already grown. And if you have to punish him, he is not the adult that you need to be connected to in terms of a romantic relationship. So no. We do not set boundaries as punishments. We set boundaries as self-protection. Now, this next one, I think I've been saying it all along, but it begs to be said again, and that is secure women. We walk away from every relationship that does not serve us. Just like Nina Simone says, we walk away from every table where love is no longer being served. And so if things started out one way and then they ended up another way, we ghost. We don't act like we can change this man. We don't stick our head in the sand and act like we don't see what's going on. Secure women are self-loving enough to say, I'm out of here. We know that we can attract more. But if we are giving chance after chance after chance after chance to a man who continues to fumble and fumble and fumble and fumble, that is a sign that maybe some more deep inner work needs to be done on your part. And trust me, been there, done that. I have been there, have done that. And I have had to do the inner work to not continue to give chance after chance. I've had to learn to walk away from the table when I feel disrespected at the first sign. I've had to learn to walk away and realize, as much as I care about this person, as much as I love this person, this doesn't work for me. This doesn't align with who I am, how I see myself, the worthiness that I've cultivated in myself. This is not working. And I have to be self-loving and strong enough to say, I'm out. And you do that when you've done that kind of work and you know that you can attract more. You can attract better and you deserve better. And so again, secure women, we don't chase, we walk away. We don't chase behind. We don't overgive. We don't overextend ourselves. We walk away from situations and disrespect and low effort and all the things that go against all the work we've done on ourselves. We didn't do all of this work, all of this inner work to end up with men who don't cherish us, because there are a lot of men out here who are looking for women to cherish, to honor, and to love and pour all of their masculine love and protection over. But if you stay connected to the one who's showing up halfway, the one who's showing up with low effort, the one who's cheating, the one who's doing all the things because he comes back and says he's sorry, nope. Sorry. No, know your worth, know your value. And a lot of times when you set a standard, a man will rise to meet it. If he is dealing with his own woundedness, because women aren't the only ones who are insecure and have childhood wounds that they have to work through. Men do too. And I want you to go look at my video, Why He Fumbled You and Why You Blame Yourself, because it explains a lot about especially avoidant men. A lot of times it's their own deep woundedness that keeps them from showing up in the relationship the way they should. And a lot of times when you set a standard, that man will do his own work. If he values you enough, he will do his own work to heal himself, and then he will come back. But you got to be willing to go to allow him to heal, if that is how God and the universe plans this relationship to be for you all. So again, we have to, secure women always walk away from every table when love is not being served. Okay, the next thing that secure women do And this is so key to having a healthy relationship is we show up embodying our feminine energy. Feminine energy for me was a game changer. And I say this in all of my videos because I just didn't know what feminine energy was, nor did I know how to yield it and wield it in my life. I didn't know what it meant to be a secure woman in love who embodies feminine energy. I had no clue. And a lot of us don't because, again, we are living in this society where patriarchy rules, where misogyny runs rampant. And it's no wonder that women are conditioned to chase and to overgive and to do all the things and not sit in a way where we are allowing ourselves to be cherished, allowing ourselves to receive. There is power in our feminine energy, and I just didn't know that. Sometimes women are conditioned to be very masculine, and for me, I was one of those women who was very masculine in how she showed up in relationships. But when I learned about feminine energy and how that is where my true power was, game changer. And so secure women are okay being soft. We are okay letting a man lead if he's the right man and he knows how to lead and he's showing up being a provider, a protector, and you feel safe with him and he cherishes you. Yes, let that man lead. Let him lead by all means. But feminine energy is power. It is soft feminine power. And the more you lean into it, the better off your life will be. And so one thing that secure women are going to do is lean into our feminine energy and show up at the table of every partnership fully clothed in our feminine energy. And so I do have a video on what feminine energy is because there's, I had to cultivate my dark feminine energy because all I had was soft feminine energy, but you need that dark feminine energy, that turning on your masculine energy because it protects you as a feminine. And men and women have feminine and masculine energy. And for me and for a lot of women, I just didn't know how to turn one on and turn it off, and when one was needed over the other. And it didn't work well when it comes to dating masculine men. And so I had to relearn all of that. But again, when you are secure in yourself and you are a woman showing up to relationships, what you want to do is show up in your feminine. You will be glad you did. Now, the next thing that I want to share that secure women do that keeps us from chasing is we invest in ourselves. We make full investments in who we are, cultivating our identity, being authentic, making sure we do the work to heal. We invest in our healing. We invest in our growth. We invest in our happiness. And if you don't hear anything else, I want you to know you are worthy of investing in your happiness, doing the things that make you happy, period, point blank. You need to invest in yourself, whether that's taking a class, hiring a coach, whether that's you doing whatever work you need to do to awaken the best version of yourself. It is all an investment, and you are so worth it. You are worth this investment. So secure women are able to show up in relationships as the best version of themselves. They are able to keep themselves from chasing behind men because we make investments, and there is a deep ROI on this investment. There is a return on investing in yourself that makes you lay down at night in peace, that makes you wake up ready to start the day when you know you're worthy and you have made that investment in you and whatever that investment looks like, but making sure that you do the things that make you happy, that bring you joy, that bring you peace, and you eliminate everything else from your life that doesn't contribute to your happiness, your growth, your peace, and your overall well-being. Listen, that is everything. When I started making investments in myself, it was a game changer. And so those are a few of the things that I think keeps women from chasing. When you show up knowing your worth, when you make investments in yourself, when you do the choosing, when you embody feminine energy, when you refuse to give ultimatums and you walk instead, when you walk away from every table where love is not being served, when you do all of these things, when you are rooted in your self-worth, and your worth and your validation doesn't come from external factors, it only comes from internal factors, that is when you will show up in every relationship, never chasing, but being the one who's chased and pursued. And I think it's so important. So I want to ask you a few questions. Are you chasing love, or are you allowing it to come to you? And if you are chasing love, if you are giving ultimatums, if you are over texting, overextending yourself, over giving, it is a sign, not that you are broken, because no, you're not broken. It may be a sign that you've been conditioned to give more than you receive. And that is a sign that some inner work needs to be done. So I would love to help you with that. If you are interested, I'll put a link to my website below. And speaking of websites, awakenhernow.com, I would love for you to join our email list. I would love for you to share this video with another woman and share this community with another woman who needs this kind of support, because listen, a lot of us do. And I would love you to become a part of this YouTube channel and a part of our community. So if any of the things that I spoke about resonated with you today, I would love for you to share it in the comments below. I would love to hear your story. If you've had a similar journey, I would love to hear it in the comments. And just want to say thank you again for watching this video. Be the secure woman that you are. It takes work, it takes practice, but it is definitely possible and doable. So thank you so much for watching this week, and I will see you all on the next video.